Welcome back to our olive tree, where we are going to continue an exploration of the ways in which Ignatian Spirituality help us with the difficult task of making decisions. Ignatians call this process discernment. Today, James Martin will be our guide on discernment. He devotes a whole chapter of his book to this issue, a chapter entitled, "What Should I Do?" James Martin explains that the first step in making a decision is called indifference. Before entering the decision-making process, James Martin writes, Ignatians ask us to be indifferent. In other words, try to approach the decision-making process as freely as possible. Indifference is easily misunderstood. James Martin tells the story of counselling a person who was wondering about whether to get married. Well, first you have to start with indifference, James Martin said to the person. Indifference? His counsellee said. This is my life we're talking about. James Martin continues. What Ignatius meant by indifference was freedom. The freedom to approach one's decision afresh. The ability to be detached from one's initial biases and to step back, the willingness to carefully balance the alternatives. This is not easy. Once we have tried to approach our decision with indifference, what comes next? Well, some decisions turn out to be easy. We find almost to our surprise that we know exactly what we are going to do. James Martin tells the story of being asked by a counsellor when he was struggling with the stress of his corporate job, what would you do if you could do anything you wanted to do? That's easy, he replied. I would become a Jesuit priest. The path to the Jesuits suddenly became clear. Some decisions are like that, suddenly clear. But many are not. You will remember that last week we explored the ideas of consolation and desolation, moods and inner feelings, whether painful or pleasant, which are drawing us towards God, are called consolation. Painful moods and inner feelings, which are drawing us away from God, are called desolation. We will find that these feelings are well worth reflecting upon when we are involved in discerning the way forward in a difficult decision. Ignatius says that it is good to meditate on which way forward gives us greater consolation, a greater sense that we are moving towards God. James Martin explains, for a few days, act as if you were going to choose one alternative. Though you've not made the choice, imagine that you have, and move through your day as if you had made the decision already. Try the decision on like a new sweater. How does it make you feel? Do you feel at peace or agitated? Then, for the next few days, take the opposite tack. How does that make you feel? At the end of the process, ask yourself which option gave you more peace. Then trust your feelings and make the decision. It is interesting, and perhaps not surprising, that whilst we might have thought decision-making was all about being logical, in the Ignatian way, our feelings play a large part in making decisions. Next week, beside our olive tree, we will look at some Ignatian tools for when we find ourselves really stuck in making a decision.